Hello, Klaus here from JP Studio. Here comes a video, updated one about our JP CE Accordion Pro. Let's take a look. So, this is one of our first elements for YOOtheme, so it's got several years of updates now. So, I'm just going to do a little refresh of what this one is, because the old videos of this is for the very first versions when we didn't have a lot of features in this. But this has evolved. We've gotten lots of feature requests that's been added, so it's time for a little updated video about this one. So we're gonna go to our demo site here, and we're just gonna check. Here you can see a different few test layouts that we've been doing. So I'm just thinking we can start a new section here, and let's add our Accordion Pro. Here it is, comes as one would imagine, with, let's do with a bit smaller here, so we just keep it a little bit more condensed. So now this one is set up to just be like a normal accordion. So you can do like anything. Test accordion, content, this is the content, and of course it works just like the regular accordion that you get from YOOtheme. But what we can see here is that we have different types that you can set. So you can set a section, which means that it will load a full section. So we're gonna create a new section here. We're gonna put the ID on this. Let's take it and call it ACTest01. So we just put an ID on this. We're gonna add a little bit of content inside this. Let's do a 3-column layout, and we do panel, panel, and panel. So let's just do 2, because I have it a bit condensed with the layout. So there we go, 2 panels in here. And now what you can do is, so this first one, I'm gonna do test section. We separate them. Now I can set a section here, and I can add the ID that I've created. And what you will see is that now that section disappears, which means that it's now inside here. So that's pretty cool, you know? So you can add a section. That's very interesting. And of course, the new way of doing this, or a smarter way of doing this, is to use the sublayouts. That's that's fairly new. It's not new, but you know, that's the new, a bit more modern way to do things. So you just add your panels into this sublayout there. So when this accordion here is set, so let's call this sub layout. So when yes, I spell it, sub layouts. So now these are kind of the same, you know, but they work in 2 different ways. So the one has sub layout, and the sub layout is here, and then you can just modify this. And let's see, what else do we have? We have row. I'm gonna explain that. And you can also load a module, so it could be any kind of module. We have made it backward compatible. We needed that for some sites that we had a little bit of trouble upgrading to YOOtheme 5. So we kept that for now. This will probably be removed in the future. Maybe in 6 months or something, we will remove YOOtheme 4, because then most sites, maybe we keep it for a year. But the module import function is a little bit different from in YOOtheme 4 and YOOtheme 5. So we just wanted to make sure that both worked. We needed that for a few sites. Yeah, and row, you might ask, what is this? That's a bit strange. Like, if you have sections, why do we need rows, you know? Yep, it's interesting, but this was actually a feature request. So yes, we have sections and we have sub, and of course in a section you can add rows. So I could I could just add a row like this, and you're gonna see here, another row is added in here. Yes, that works, but when you work with essential forms, which is this super nice, you know, most of you YOOtheme have probably used it by now. It's a great way to create forms like this. And we can take a look at this one here. So we're using rows in here. So we have different, let's take a look at the first one, input. So we have mail, name, phone, you know, this is just example. And then we have the next one, and that has the address with post number and address. And then we have the final one, which is a text area. So what we've done here is that we've added an ID. Let me see. Here we go. We added an ID of the form. Should be one there too. Did I just miss it? Yeah. So form row 1, form row 2, and form row 3. And then in here we can create accordions, and we can fetch those different rows, which means that we have everything for a form. You see, this is the new Essentials 3. You have this form element to kind of have all the form functionality in them. In previous versions, Essentials 2, you had sublayouts that you needed to connect your forms inside to open up for the form functionality and so on. But in Essentials 3, we have this form. But inside here, you cannot do sections. You know, this is just like a sublayout. You cannot do, you know, you can only do rows. So with the newly added row function, you can have rows, and you can have accordion that has different form options, and then you can also have the submit here. This becomes one nice form that you can send and set you know your different actions of sending and showing display messages and so on. So that's what the row is for. And as you can see, you know, this one, I didn't do any style settings or anything on the first one. You know, there is a lot of settings you can do for the style, and you have a whole custom thing here, so you can actually modify, you know, everything and add icons and colors and everything. You can set it up exactly, and here's an example of that, you know, where we have, you know, a nice little background. We have, let's go into it. So we can go to the form one, yes. And you will see that we have settings for, you know, we have our own SVGs for the plus and minus. You know, you can even set different, you can have a little spin animation. Shoo, shoo, cool. And so on, you know, or just keep it simple. Yeah, we have added some more versions here where you can see how it works. Same here. So you can style them exactly as you want. Yeah, I think that kind of explains it. You know, it's an accordion to make, like, you have full control of do whatever you want for accordion. And accordion is something that is used a lot today. We use it on a lot of different websites, you know, from public sector to e-commerce to everything you want. Maybe you want to have specifications and so on. So having a nice control of everything in the accordion is a very, very nice thing to have. Yeah, that's all for this. You find it on our website, Accordion. That's it. Thank you and bye.